What it do, what it do? Welcome to our new sports channel, Guys with Balls. It's going to be hilarious. The name is just absolutely hilarious. So I'm just going to get that over with. So we got Steph, Rick, and Kurt here. I'm just going to give a quick recap. We want to talk all things sports. First things first, I'm an Eagles fan first, and I love the Sixers. I love it. Just about everything Philly. Also, I'm a Mavericks fan. Don't quote me on that. Don't get mad at me on that. But yeah. So Rick, what are your favorite sports teams per se?
I mean, most people already know Steelers, Flyers, Phillies, and the Kings. Yes, I know Kings. We've been through a lot, but yeah, it is what it is.
Y'all could have had Luka, my guy, but I'm not gonna talk about that.
We could have had a lot. It was Devon's fault.
Kurt, what's your favorite sports teams, my guy?
My man say he a Kings fan. That's hilarious.
Hey,
me personally, I am Sixers fan diehard. I have season tickets. I'm an Eagles fan. I have an Eagles tattoo that I just recently got. I'm a Flyers fan. For those of you guys who are listening, you can't see, but I'm donning a Carter Hart jersey right now. And, of course, I'm a Phillies fan, even though, they just swept the Mets, but they've been playing like trash lately. And when it comes to college football, I have two teams, as weird as it sounds. I am a Michigan fan, diehard, love the Michigan Wolverines. And by default, I am a Temple fan because I graduated from that. But yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, when it comes to college sports, I just watch it. I don't affiliate. Me personally, I don't affiliate with anybody. I just watch it.
Man,
But
That's all I am. That's all I am with college basketball. I don't really have a de facto team I rock with in college ball. I just watch it just to watch it because it's exciting. But in terms of college football, I've always been a Michigan fan. From the uniforms to the rivalry with Ohio State is just captivating to me.
Okay.
all right, definitely feel you on that one. So the first episode or the first video we're gonna do is definitely gonna do it on just your predictions of the first round. We're only gonna do the first round this time of the NBA playoffs, the bubble playoffs as they're gonna call them. So let's start off in the East. 1 versus the 8th, which is the Bucks versus the Magic, I believe. Is it the Magic?
Bucks versus let's see here what we got. Bucks versus Magic. Yes, it is.
All right. So you basically got Giannis and them boys versus Vucevic, Aaron Gordon, Markelle Fultz. Do y'all see this going anywhere past 4?
No. I said 4 games. That's it.
I give the Magic one game.
Now, go ahead, Kurt. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying I give them one game. I don't, to sweep a team is very hard. I know it's 1 versus 8, but the bubble factor plays a role. And to be quite honest, the Bucks haven't been playing that well in the bubble. I believe they have an under 500 record. Yeah, they have what's looking like 2-time MVP Giannis, and they are the better team. But I'd give the Magic a game just because it's a neutral court, and those first 2 games. It's always like a filling out process. I mean, playoff ball is a little bit different than in season. Games a lot slower. It comes down to coaching. It's a lot more X's and O's to it. So I'd give the Magic a game. Sort of like how the Magic beat the Raptors that first game in the playoffs last year. Late big 3 by DJ Augustine or something like that again. Who knows? Markelle Fultz might even hit a big 3 at the end of the game. You never know.
Oh, that would be a sight to see.
No
That would be a sight to see.
intended. No pun intended.
That would definitely be a sight to see, man. If Markelle hit a 3 to beat Bucks. That would be hilarious. Okay. I will probably, I don't know. I think they just don't have anybody to stop Giannis whatsoever. So I would go 4. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a sweep. I hate to say it's gonna be a sweep because I do like the Magic Holiday, the athletic, up and coming team. I just really think they're gonna be a sweep.
Listen, I like Fultz, but there's nobody else on this team at all, if you ask me, really. I'm just saying getting out the brooms at this point. Let's call it a clean sweep. Get on to the next round. I don't even know why the Magic are in this. They're way below 500 on the season.
Still salty about them Kings, aren't you?
Listen here. If the Kings was in the East, they'd be dominating right now.
Oh, man. This man keeps saying that.
But that's not what we're talking about right now.
All right, what's the 2 versus 7 matchup? I know we got the Raptors versus
Brooklyn.
Now, Brooklyn, you would think Brooklyn would get swept because they don't have anybody. No, that's what I'm saying. You would think they would get swept because they don't have anybody. But Karis LeVert has emerged in the bubble, man. He has been balling in the bubble. And the thing is, they don't have Dinwiddie. They don't have KD, obviously. They don't have Kyrie. So you would think that, it's just a wrap. But I honestly think this might go to 6 personally. I personally think this will go to 6.
Okay. I'm going to give it 5. Raptors, I got a feeling they're going to come out game 1 thinking that they big shots, they got this game in the bag. Something's going to happen late in the game. It's going to cost them the game. But then they're going to get on track for the rest of the series and just sweep them from there.
I'm going to say 6. I'm giving Brooklyn 2 wins. Toronto is, one of the better defensive teams in the league. And, Pascal Siakam is a little bit of a jack of all trades. But Brooklyn is coming. And, they can hit the 3 just as good as any team in the league. Little light defensively in the post, especially in post. Jared Allen's really not that big. You see him get dominated a lot. But he's he doesn't take plays off and he hustles. He'll crash the boards. He'll do what he has to do. So and Karis, like you said, Karis LeVert has been playing on another level. Also a Michigan guy, so I kind of expected it. But I'm gonna give the Nets 2 games. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's gonna be a lot more competitive, and if this series, because of the dynamic of it being a neutral court and no fans, and it's just us in the gym, 4 walls, and in a court. I wouldn't be surprised if this series, as well as the next series we're gonna talk about, if it went 7.
All right. So speaking of that, the next series, 3 versus the 6, Boston versus the Sixers. Personally, I think it's gonna be. I really do. It may go 7. But I think the Sixers are going to beat the Celtics. I don't think they have anyone who can stop Embiid. When he has it, we all know when he has his mind right, when he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, no one can stop him. No one can stop him on that Celtics team. I got to go on 7, but I got the Sixers on in 7.
Okay. I'm going to say 6 games. I'm going to give it to the Sixers, provided that the coaching is on point and Ben Simmons stays away from this 3-line in this playoffs.
Man, Ben Simmons is not going to play.
I'm just being sarcastic here now. But honestly, though, really, it's going to come down to coaching to me. Because listen, the last 2 times, what has happened with the Sixers in the playoffs, it's come down to horrible coaching in crucial moments. And it cost them the games. So, to me, it's just going to be a factor for them.
Look, man, as a diehard Sixer fan and as a 7-year season ticket holder, I am tired of losing to Boston. We watched it during the Iverson era, before our time, during the Dot era in the 80s, Do you know how many championships we would have if it wasn't for Boston? I mean, for Christ's sake, Wilt Chamberlain lost to Boston. Like, Boston just consistently had our number.
Same thing I can say about the Kings with the Lakers.
Yo, Rick, for the remainder of this show, please don't.
I'm just saying.
No, listen, I love playing with the Kings as a rebuild team on 2K, but maybe y'all get on the right direction now that Vlade Divac is left, because that man, I mean, he was terrible.
He ruined this.
He was the Brett Brown of general manager, like the basketball operator. He was, I mean, when you get fleeced by Brett Brown out of a trade, you know you suck. Like, I'm just gonna put that up. But I have this series going 6, and I've said time and time again, the element of Ben Simmons not playing. Yes, we will suffer defensively, but I think it's for the floor for the Sixers, and you see a player like Alec Burks, who is a bucket. That guy can shoot with the best of them, just doesn't get that much opportunity.
Agreed.
Tobias Harris is what he is. People get mad at his contract. People say he's not a max player. It's not his fault the Sixers gave him a max deal. If you look at his numbers, December, he's been our most consistent player from a points per game standpoint, from a shooting standpoint, and from a staying on the court standpoint. But yes, the definitive X factor is going to be two things. It's not going to be the offensive Joel Embiid. We know that's there. It's going to be the defensive Joel Embiid. And it's going to be the shot factor of one Matisse Thybulle. If Matisse Thybulle can keep that same level of play he has and turn down the fouls and actually spend a lot of time on the court, because we know Matisse is going to guard Jason Tatum. If you eliminate Jason Tatum, I mean, Kemba's going to be Kemba. He's going to have a game. Jaylen Brown, he's been playing some great ball. If Jaylen Brown wasn't a Celtic, I'd probably be a tremendous fan of him. He can ball. But, I just feel like this Sixers team, a lot of people are counting this team out because of the missing element of a Ben Simmons. Yes, he's one of probably our best on-ball defender, but I mean, with him out, our bench has scored. I've seen them go on runs where they score 50 points in a quarter. I mean, yeah, they're going to give up. They've seen them also give up 40 points and 50 points to T.J. Warren and 50 points to Dame Lillard. But with that being said, once again, it's going to come down to Joel Embiid's defense. If he can dominate offensively, as we all know he can, because I mean, let's just be real, Enes Kanter. I mean, he's a nobody. He's not going to touch the Tibor Thies, I mean, this isn't 2K. He's a bona fide. He's a bum to me. Like, he's not going to stop that. I can't name another big on their bench. They have no depth. I just feel like the Sixers can beat this team in 6 games. If it goes to a 7, you don't want to see Kemba Walker in 7 games because you know what you're going to get.
UConn Kemba.
Exactly. And Kemba is my man. Like on 2K, and I've watched him since UConn. I was in college in my dorm watching that entire Big East run. Kemba is a bad man, and you don't want to get him in the game 7 because he can be a Dame Lillard type. Like, you don't want to see that. He's not in Charlotte anymore. He has help.
Yeah,
that's true.
All right, so we're going to go to the series that everyone's going to be licking their fingers at. You got the Pacers versus the Heat. T.J. Warren versus Jimmy Butler. Now, before we even get to that, Kurt, do you feel like, though, the Sixers got it wrong with keeping Tobias over Jimmy? Just a simple yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, I feel the same way.
Reason. It's one particular reason from a leadership standpoint. And I think to realize that, and in the bubble, he's been trying to be more of a leader and, score more consistently and be more vocal. I mean, he's not Jimmy Butler in the slightest when it comes to the vocal and being a leader part, but
agreed. That's what the Sixers need, man. They need a leader, and apparently Brett Brown ain't it. So, all right. So we're gonna talk about the Pacers versus the Heat. I got the Heat in 6. I just think their defense, man, with the shooters that they got, I think Jimmy's gonna lead them. And then they got Bam Adebayo, who definitely stepping up. So I definitely got them in 6. Rick, who you got?
I'm gonna go Heat, but I'm saying it's gonna be the first 7-game series for the East. Just I really don't think the matchups are going to be there for the Pacers. I really don't see it happening, but I see them letting Jimmy score more, but shutting most of the team down for the most part, maybe. But I'm still saying 7 with Miami.
See, this is honestly a toss-up to me. Do I think Miami is the better team? Yes. But Miami's also a young team outside of Bam and Jimmy and Goran Dragic. They, they're prime time players. They're still fairly young, still wet behind the ears. They have supreme shooting. They can shoot the ball pretty darn good. But the Pacers, they're a little bit more vet savvy. You got players coming into their own right now. Miles Turner is an absolute monster. He's one of my favorite non-Sixer players to watch in the league. And there's going to be that trash talk. This series is going to be a lot of fun to watch. It's going to be must-see TV in the East. I'm actually anticipating this series more than the Sixers Celtics series. But if I had to pick a winner, ultimately I just feel like Miami's 3-point shooting is going to be the difference maker. So I'm gonna give Miami a 7. I'm gonna say it's going to be back and forth.
All right, and I definitely see that series being one of the best series in the first round for sure. All right, so we slide over to the East. We got the Lakers versus Dame Time. That man has willed his way into the playoffs. Did not let anybody stop him, and now they are in the playoffs against LeBron and the Lakers. I got this going 6. I'm not like anybody. Talking about the Lakers are going to sweep them or whatever. No, this is going to go 6. This is going to go 6 because there's nobody on that team that's going to be able to stop Dame whatsoever. They don't have Rondo. I think he's still injured or whatever the case may be. Avery Bradley opted out. I do not think anybody on this Lakers team.
Bradley opted out? I thought he got hurt.
No, Avery Bradley opted out before it all started. So,
that's a tremendous defensive loss for the Lakers.
Yeah, so I don't think anybody on this Lakers team can stop Damian Lillard. And lately they can't shoot the 3 ball, so it's going to be a rough matchup. But I still see the Lakers winning in 6.
Okay. See, I'm saying 5 for the Lakers. 1, you can't never count a LeBron James team out of anything, regardless of who they're going up against. Ever. His leadership, regardless of what he has on his team, he's going to drive them to do what he needs them to do, play their best. Yes, you're not going to shut down Dame, but you're going to slow him down. That's going to be their focal point, slowing him down and playing perfect offense. Can they play perfect offense? We don't know yet. We're going to have to see.
That's a fact.
But I still say 5 games for the Lakers. LeBron is on a mission in this bubble. And that's the difference maker, honestly. Kirk?
I got the Lakers in 6. And based off Dame Lillard's play, I would say right now the Blazers are playing better basketball. My issue with the Blazers is they play absolutely no defense whatsoever.
That's a fact.
If they were a better defensive team, honestly, I would pick the Blazers in a major upset. Now, if between now and tomorrow, when the playoffs start, if something clicks defensively, I could see this as going back and forth. I could see this, definitely going 6 or 7 if the Blazers play great defense. If the Lakers, shooting woes start and, if Kuzma just disappears again and the bench is just playing absolute scrub ball, the Blazers could win this series. I mean, you don't go against LeBron James. He's still the best player in the world, even though he's getting up there in age. I mean, it's playoff basketball. Like, Bron knows what's at stake. He knows he's wearing the Laker uniform, and he knows what the fans expect. Like I said, with that being said, I'm going to go with the Lakers in 6. It's kind of hard to go against LeBron. We know, we've seen what he's done. But we've also seen what Dame Lillard has done in the playoffs as well. And he has taken down some titans. And it's going to be a shock. Like T.O. says, get your popcorn ready.
All right, so next matchup. I'm not even on this. Clippers versus the Mavs. Now, I'm not going to be a homer. I'm not stupid. The Mavs are young, man. This is a young team. But I think this is going to go 6. The reason why I think this is going to go 6 is because the Mavs are going to be close in every game. The reason, a lot of the issues with the Mavs is closing. We all know that. They'll blow you out in like the first half, and then you start chipping away at that lead, and they start to filter. And that's literally the antithesis of a young team. I think the oldest player on there is Courtney Lee, and he barely gets any ticks. So it's just basically them trying to come into their own. But I think you're going to see – I'm not going to say you're going to see Lucas coming out probably because obviously he's already out. But a lot of people are saying in order for him to be a superstar, he has to do it in the playoffs. And I think he will. You'll see KP in the first time in the playoffs. So I really think this is going to go 6. I think a lot of the games are going to be close. And I think a lot of the games are going to be lost, honestly, from the Mavs. It's going to look like the Mavs could win. But I think like what's going to happen is old habits die hard. They're going to have a nice lead, or they're going to be leading the game, and they're just going to lose it in the last 5 minutes like they always do. I got this going 6. And Clippers winning in 6.
Clippers, okay. And to me, this is going to be probably one of the bigger games to watch for the West for the first round. Well, can Luka do it on his own for the most part, or will they pull it together? I don't know. I really don't. I really can't see Luka handling it all, and this just not for this year. Maybe next year. But I'm going to go 6 as well for the Clippers. But I think this is probably going to be the best one to watch for the West this round.
Clippers in 5. Mavericks just don't have the team to do it. Clippers, and they have, Luka's fun to watch. It's going to be fun to watch KP. But like you said, they can't hold a lead. And you really think they're going to win 2 games against Kawhi?
I think they're going to get 2, man. And the reason why I think they're going to get 2 is because Luka's going to have – not even Luka. There's going to be somebody that's going to be unaccounted for having a stupid game. It's either going to be Trey Burke, Seth Curry, Tim Hardaway Jr. One of them, one game is going to go crazy stupid, and it's going to be unexpected, and it's going to be one of the games that they're going to win. And then you're going to have KP go stupid from beyond the 3-point line and doing his thing defensively. That's why I see them winning 2. Other than that, I don't think they have the pieces, and I think they're just too young to really go a whole 7 games first.
True. I mean, you definitely can account for some double teams on Luka. So.
Oh yeah, they're gonna lock Luka up for a little while. I already know that.
Listen, I feel like the Clippers are gonna win in 5. Clippers are the most dominant. To me, they have out of all the teams in the playoffs, they have the team with the most depth, defensively and offensively. They're getting back a fresh Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams, Pat Bev. I mean, this team is Marcus Morris. This team is loaded.
Yeah.
I don't. Like I said, I don't like sweeps, so I give Dallas 1 game. I feel like Dallas is on the cusp of being an elite team. They got a little bit more growing to do. I feel like this is going to be a valuable learning experience, especially because KP's never been there. I think Luka's taking that next step. Luka might, in my opinion, is a top 3 guard in this league. That's up for debate for some people, but his credentials speak for themselves. Like Shannon Sharp said, if Luka was, brother, he'd be the top of the league right now. But I just feel like at this point in time, the Clippers just have too much. It's just going to be too much to handle for a young Dallas team. So I'm going to say Clippers.
Cool. All right. So we got the next series. It's the 3-6. If I'm not mistaken, that's the
Nuggets versus Jazz.
yeah. So Nuggets versus Jazz. The Jazz have been playing terrible
Mm.
without their shooters, man. They have been absolutely terrible. I, as much as I hate to say this, I got the Nuggets winning in 5. They, if I'm not mistaken, they were the 4th seed when this all started. The Jazz, and they they literally are a Dame Lillard 3 against the Mavs. That 3 that he threw up and it bounced off the joint and went in. They are a Dame Lillard 3 against away from playing the Clippers, and the Mavs moving up to 6. That's how bad they have been playing because it was 4, and they dropped down all the way to 6 and almost was 7. So I got the Nuggets, man. I got the Nuggets at 5. I don't think they're ready for it. I think they missed their shooting too much.
I mean, I can agree with that. I really don't see Utah bouncing back from this tragedy of the bubble. I think to me that's going to be their hindrance and their curse. Nuggets, on the other hand, have been playing a bit better, if you ask me, while being in the bubble. So I really think it could either go 4 or 5. It all depends on what Utah team we get.
I got Nuggets in 5. Utah might win one game, but let's just be real. The Nuggets are up and coming. The Nuggets might. I mean, at this point, you got Michael Porter Jr., Bol, and they've already, Joker. The Nuggets might mess around, especially next season, to be a top 3 team. He could even challenge for number 2, depending on what happens with the Lakers and the Clips. But yeah, Nugget too much size. I mean, we've seen them run that Twin Towers lineup.
The lineup of death.
Yes, and it's effective. I mean, it's the complete opposite of what Houston does with the small ball. But yeah, Utah, like I said, they might win one game. I give them 1, but I'm gonna say the Nuggets in 5. And the 4 games that the Nuggets are going to win won't even be – it's going to be like runaways. It'll be competitive in the beginning, but I just think the size and especially the speed of the Nuggets is just – I mean, it's just going to be too much for the Jazz to handle.
Definitely agree with that. So we got the last series of the West. We got the number 4 Rockets who vaulted up in the bubble, man. They play hard in the bubble, and they are playing the OKC Thunder, who everyone thought were going to be trash this year. They surprised a lot of people by turning it around and proving that, just because we lost Westbrook and Paul George, we're not going to be trash. This is definitely going to be one of the best series to watch in the West this round. I have the Rockets in 6. I think James Harden is just going to be too much James Harden. I know that they're not going to have Westbrook for a couple of the games, but I think just too much James Harden is just going to be too much for the OKC Thunder to have.
I mean, definitely, it's going to definitely be the Rockets easily. I really don't see OKC standing a chance in the playoffs against them, especially once with that. Anything can happen, but yeah, I'm still saying 6 for Rockets. Maybe they steal a game or 2 while Westbrook is out, but once you back at full strength, there's no stopping the Rockets, at least in this matchup.
Yeah, the game to be really competitive. I think series honestly could go either way. Obviously, if James Harden decides he wants to show up this playoff series, the Rockets should win. But then again, this is James Harden, who is the best in-season basketball player of this generation, and he just completely chokes during the playoffs. That being said, I'm still going to pick the Rockets in 6. OKC, they crashed the party definitely this season. Nobody expected this out of them. I certainly didn't see this coming. But shout out to OKC for giving the Sixers that first round draft pick too, by the way. But I just, Chris Paul, they're the Cinderella team. Would it surprise me, honestly, if they beat the Rockets in the first round? No, it wouldn't. I mean, I'm not going to bank on it, but, if it came down to game 6 and, OKC is up and, they win that game 6 game and it's the gooder, I would not be surprised at all, just based off, like I said, the bubble factor. Houston is one of those teams where they feed off that energy of the crowd, especially with a guy like Russell Westbrook, who brings that dynamic to your team. Harden's going to shoot his step backs and get, his phantom travel calls that aren't really travels per refs. He's going to get to the line about 14 times. With that being said, those dynamics come into play. I just think the younger guards for the OKC Thunder are going to get frustrated. The small ball factor will come into play. And Houston Spurs perform really well, so they're gonna hit their fair share of threes. That's how they weather down the opponent. Unless OKC can find a way to go shot for shot against the Rockets, I can't see them winning. But that being said, like I said, Houston in 6. But out of all the teams in the West, all the matchups I'll say in the West, if the lower seed were to win, which is OKC, I wouldn't be surprised, based off history with, James Harden.
All right, well, there you have it. You got our playoff predictions for the first round. Once the first round is finished, we'll definitely give you our predictions for the semifinals for each East and West. But don't forget, if you like our videos, subscribe. And this is Guys with Balls.
Sixers in 6. Let's go.
Hey, we'll see what happens. Next year, Kings is making the playoffs. That's all I'm saying.